If a sub 3 is equals to 43 and a sub 9 is equals to negative 35 of an arithmetic sequence, find the values of a sub 10, a sub 30, and a sub 1. Let's solve this in this new learned video. Hello everyone, welcome to my class, and in this video we are going to solve for the missing terms given a sub 3 and a sub 9, which means there's no a sub 1 and there is no consecutive term so that we could get the value of d. If you try to recall the formula of the nth term of arithmetic sequence, that is a sub n is equals to a sub 1 plus the quantity of n minus 1 times d, we need the values of the first term, which is a sub 1, and the common difference, which is d. But we only have a sub 3 and a sub 9. So how are we going to solve that? So first, let us write what is given. Our given is a sub 3 and a sub 9. So for us to have a sub 1 and to get the value of d, we need to set a sub 3 as our a sub 1. So we move 2 places. So from 3, we move a sub 2, then a sub 1. We move 2 places, right? So in here also in a sub 9, we are going to move 2 places because as we move a sub 3, a sub 9 will also be moved. So move 2 places, then from a sub 9 it becomes a sub 8, then it becomes a sub 7. So our a sub 9 will become a sub 7, and this will be our last term. So our a sub 1 now, which is originally a sub 3, is equals to 43, and our a sub 7, which is originally a sub 9, is negative 35. And since our a sub 9 becomes a 7 and the last term, our n will be 7. Okay, so now let's first solve for the common difference, since it is the only one missing for us to solve a sub 10. Let's solve them one by one, okay? So a sub 7 for the last term is negative 35. I put parentheses so that you will not be confused if that is negative or positive. It is for easy recognition that it is negative. Next is a sub 1 is 43 plus 7 minus 1 times d. And next is, since we have addition and a parenthesis, and inside the parenthesis there is an operation, so we should execute it first. So we would copy all those numbers which are not affected, plus 7 minus 1, that is 6. We still have parenthesis because there is d beside it. Next, we have an operation that is addition and multiplication. So we would do first multiplication following the rule in series of operation, or the PEMDAS. So let's still copy negative 35 is equals to 43 plus 6 times d, since 6 doesn't have any variable and d has 1 beside it, invisible 1, right? Okay, so 6 times 1, that is 6, then copy d. So 6d. Now, we need to get d, right? So, which means that our answer should be d is equals to blank. So we have to make sure that on the one side of the equation, we have here this side and this side, d will be left. But first, since we have 43 here, and is separated by plus, they are separated by an operation plus with 6d, we can move 43 to the other side, and since it crosses the equal sign and this is positive, so we need to change its sign to its opposite. Again, when a term is being moved to the other side, its sign will be changed to its opposite. So from positive, this now becomes negative as it arrives to the other side. Okay? And also you can move terms here to the other side, and still the following rule will apply. It's actually called transposition, but in technical term, that is addition property. It is just the shortcut for addition property. Now let's go to transposing 43 to the other side. So let's copy negative 35. Then since this is positive, then it becomes now negative. So it carries negative minus 43 is equals to, what's left? 6D. Now, let us continue solving on this side here. Negative 35 minus 43. So since you see minus here, they are now both negative, so you combine them. Negative, negative, that's negative. 35 and 43, that is 78. Okay, so equals, what's left? 6D. And we need only D, but it has 6 beside it. All we need to do is to divide it by 6. So whatever is the number beside the variable or D, then that's the number we are going to divide. And since we divide it on the other side, we will also divide it here, because that is equation. So make sure what you do here should be also done on the other side. So 6 divided by 6, that's 1, or only D cancel out. The negative 78 over 6, or divided by 6, that is, since that is negative and positive, when you divide unlike sign, that result is negative. So negative 13. Okay, so our common difference is negative 13. So now we can have D is equals to negative 13. So now we can solve A sub 10. Since from the given that is A sub 9, and next to it is A sub 10, and common difference is the number we add to get the next term, then we would simply A sub 9 plus the common difference, because A sub 10 is just the next term of A sub 9. So we will just create this equation or formula. So our A sub 9 is negative 35 plus negative 13. They are both negative, so you combine them. So that is negative 35 plus 13, that is 48. So our A sub 10 is equals to 48. Okay? So now let's go to the next problem, that is A sub 30. So now let's solve for A sub 30. Let us remember that our common difference is negative 13. So since we still don't know our A sub 1, we have to set A sub 3 as our A sub 1, which is equals to 43. And since in setting A sub 3 to A sub 1, we move 2 places, therefore our A sub 30 will also become A sub 28. We move 2 places to this side here. So from 30, it becomes 29, it becomes 28. A sub 28, because A sub 3 will become A sub 2, then will become A sub 1. So 2 places. And that is missing. So our n now will have the value of 28, since it is considered our last term. So let's substitute. So A sub 28, the missing term, which is originally our A sub 30. Do not be confused. Our A sub 1 is 43 plus our n is 28 minus 1 times the D that we have solved a while ago, that is negative 13. Since we have values inside the parentheses and following the rules of series of operations, that is PEMDAS parenthesis first, then let us execute this operation here inside the parentheses. So let us copy all those numbers which are not affected. So 28 minus 1, that is 27. Still, we need to write the parenthesis because it has another value beside it. Okay? So now we have addition and we have multiplication. The operation between them is multiplication. Okay? Do not be confused. If you see these expression like this, wherein two numbers inside the parenthesis are put beside with each other, that is multiplication. So let's do multiplication first. Copy 43 plus 27 times negative 13. So when you multiply positive and negative or unlike signs, then the result is also negative. Okay? And 27 times 13 is 351. Okay, now let's add. Since 43 is positive and 351 is negative, then we are going to subtract them. And 351 is greater than 43 in terms of absolute value, then we would carry the negative sign here. Okay? So negative 35 plus positive 43, that is 308. Therefore, our a sub 28 is equals to negative 38, and originally this a sub 28 is our a sub 30. Okay? So our a sub 30 is negative 300. So now let us solve for a sub 1, or the first term. So still the given is negative 13, our common difference. That's what we have solved a while ago. And then we can choose a sub 3. We will use a sub 3 or a sub 9. So we will just use a sub 3. 43. And this is our last term. So meaning n is equals to 3. You can actually use a sub 9 and your value for n is equals to 9. And now we are not going to set anymore since we are finally looking for the values of a sub 1. Okay? So, a sub n, which is our last term, that is a sub 3, is equals to our a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. A sub 3 is 43 is equals to a sub 1 that is missing, plus our n is 3 minus 1 times our common difference is 13. Next thing to do is we are going to execute the operation here, 3 minus 1, because it's inside the parenthesis, PEMDAS. 43, copy all those terms which are not affected. So 3 minus 1, that is 2, times negative 13. Since we have addition and we have multiplication, then we do multiplication first. So copy 43 a sub 1 plus 2 times negative 13, that is negative 26. Now we need to have a sub 1 only on one side of the equation. Since a sub 1 is here, then whatever is the term with a sub 1 must be moved or transferred to the other side. So we are going to move negative 26 to the other side. Okay? Since this is negative and then we move to the other side, so this becomes positive. So positive 26 plus 43 is equals to a sub 1. So a sub 1 doesn't have any number beside it, so it will be easier to do that. So a sub 1 is equals to 26 plus 43 is equals to 69. Therefore, our a sub 1 is 69. I hope this video have helped you to solve this kind of problem, and that's all for this video. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.